Hi, my name is Tiffany Smith, and I'll be discussing the impact of email. Email is much faster, it's less expensive, and you are able to reach anyone around the world, and you're also able to deliver documents electronically. In my video lecture, I'm going to be describing the technology of email and how people interact with it. I'm also going to be explaining email's relationship with the concept of computing data by showing how email is a form of data representing archived human communication. On this slide, I'm going to be discussing the purpose of impact of email, the problems that email has solved, and the opportunity that email has created, and also the discovery that email has made possible. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines email as messages that are sent electronically from one computer to another. This is shown by the picture on the left. There is one sender sending a message to 5 other recipients. When we used to have mail sent from a mailman, that's shown in the picture on the right, it usually would take several days just to send that one message, and then it would take the same for that message to be sent back to the original sender. Now it's instantaneously sent, and you can email back and forth in a couple seconds. A benefit of email is that it provides people with a standard, archived, and one-to-many electronic communication. Standard, archived, and one-to-one many electronic communication means that emails have to follow a certain protocol. They are saved on email servers, as shown in the picture on the top right, and that you can also send a message to as many people as you want, and they can also be anywhere around the world because of the standard protocol that email has to follow. One harmful effect email has is spamming. Spamming is unwanted communication that is sent through an email, and once you click on it, it can harm your computer. On the left, there is a chart that shows the spam attempt delivery to an account of an employee of a major U.S. company. A second harmful impact that email has is on personal privacy. What can happen is that emails are archived, as we said, in the servers up here, and any private communication that you have can be available for anyone else. This is also discussed more on another page. Email has drastically impacted society, economy, and culture. We normally use email just to send messages back and forth between coworkers, bosses, and also professors for school. There are other ways to use email that are really important to faster communication. Another main thing that email has done is now allowing people to go paperless when they pay their bills. Most people would have to go into a store and pay their bills person to person. Now what you can do is sign onto your account online and pay your bills right there. And what you do is you'll get a notification through email saying your payment has been accepted. Right here is a survey that I gave to 10 of my friends to answer honestly. Every single one of them said that over 90% of the time they would use email opposed to traditional mail for personal communication. This is a good example that people in my generation now would rather use email because it is a lot faster than sending a message through mail that could take about 10 days just to get an answer back from that person. In my interview video, I discussed my uncle discussing the impact of email from their point of view. How has email impacted your life?
I use it for work on a daily basis, and it is very helpful.
If you want to send a message to a client, is it faster to send an email rather than writing a letter?
It's much faster to send it by email than using a letter.
Do you see any problems with email?
The only problem I see with email is people often misread an email and it has no emotion.
And do you feel your email is secure?
In my line of work, we have to have secure email, and I'm very confident our email is very secure.
I made this interview video using my iPhone, YouTube editor, and then YouTube to publish it. First, I used my phone to interview my uncle, and then I also recorded him sending an email to a colleague. Then I used YouTube editor to combine the videos and add transitions and other things like text and music to the background. And then I used YouTube to publish the video. The one other field I chose other than computer science that uses email is business. The business workplace uses email to contact colleagues and customers. Unlike when you use a phone call, all parties have to schedule the communication and make sure they're all free. When email, what you can do is send a message, and when everyone is free at their own time, they can respond back. The one drawback to using email day to day to communicate is there's less person to person communication. This means that now instead of actually meeting with someone to talk, you can just send them a quick email and they can respond back and you never actually have to see them. On this page, I explain the technical aspects of email. First, I'm going to explain how users interact with email. Email is used through email clients, and this can be apps on a device like Outlook Express. It can be a mobile app, or it can also be a website like Gmail. As shown in the picture on the right over here, this explains how an email is sent from one person, the client, to a server, and then back to the other person that is the receiver of that email. A great way to learn more about email is using Gmail. And below down here is an example video on how to use Gmail for beginners. Email's technology incorporates many of the big ideas, including algorithms, programming, internet, and also abstraction. The big idea that I chose to describe in detail is abstraction. The reason why I chose this is because the protocol that I described earlier in the video is very complex because each step has a lot of information that goes along with it. You would think that email is very easy, but it's only actually easy for the user. It is hard because of the programming of email clients and the complexity of computing systems and protocols that they have to use just to deliver that email. In this section, I'm going to be discussing email's relationship to data. Email is primarily a producer of data, but it also consumes and transforms data as well. Email produces data that is human communication, and this is the content of the message that you would send to someone, like, hey, how are you doing, or just whatever you want to say. Messages also contain metadata that is media that you can't read as a person, but the computer reads to send that message, and that is inside the protocol as well. One of the biggest concerns that has to do with data storage, data privacy, and data security with email is other people being able to retrieve your emails that you did not want them to see. Emails are a private communication, however, because they are saved on servers, anyone can get access to it. When an email is sent, an email is also saved on the sender server and the recipient server. So there are two copies of that email that anyone can get their hands on. The biggest issue with email privacy is that hackers have the ability to get into your email because they use coding to allow themselves access. I used coding in another way, not in hacking, but I used it to write this website. As shown right here, there's an example of how I wrote this page. I used HTML and CSS styling to make this page look very unique. As you can see, if I click on here, it'll take you to all the ways that you can make a page look unique. And when I go back to the website, if you see, I have made a banner that shows my name and the title of my page. Once you click on it, it'll take you back to the main site. I made this banner using Pixlr Editor. What this is you are allowed to use layers, text, to make a banner or make another image that you want to use. Most of the images on my website I have made using Pixlr Editor. I have reduced the size for most of them and made sure that they're smaller to fit on this website. This page is a list of references that I have used to make the website I have shown you. Number 6 was my most used website, and right here is where I got all my information from. For more information on the impact of email, click on the link above for my full website.